We are on Season 4, Episode 13 of Are You Afraid of the Dark? The Tale of the Train Magic. Do it with me. Chew, chew. About a kid whose dad died that was a train conductor, and so he became obsessed with model trains. And has to save some people at the end. But before we get to the story, we have to talk about Frank, this character right here. You see, Frank will be telling the story, and this will also be the last story that he tells in this series, since this is the last episode of Season 4. There's one more season, Season 5 of the original series. Are You Afraid of the Dark's a little weird. The last episode of Season 5 premieres in February of 1996. Then Season 6 starts in February of 1999. Yeah, they take 3 years off before starting Season 6 and Season 7. So we're going to consider the first 5 seasons really part of the original series of Are You Afraid of the Dark, since the revival series has a different cast, but we will be reviewing those as well. Frank is leaving though. He will not be here for Season 5, and they don't give him a send-off either. So the love triangle between Frank, Sam, and Gary is going to be finished because Frank is knocked out of the picture. He's not going to get Sam. I will miss him getting rejected by her. It was always funny. Here he just intros the show by showing up late with a flashlight, pretending like he's a train, trying to scare the kids. And he told the very first episode of this series, The Tale of the Phantom Cab, Episode 1. So it's fitting that he has the last episode of Season 4. And if you want to see the other episodes Frank told, well, here's a list of them. I felt like he was a good character, since he was supposed to be the tough guy, but people would prank him. Also, this lot tends to be a bit nerdy, so he was the one cool guy. Seemed to be a little older than the other kids as well. This other group is middle schoolers, and this guy's a freshman in high school. So the two main characters are Tim Williamson and Hank Williamson. Tim being the younger brother. Hank decided to cope with his loss by playing sports, and Tim has erected this train set that we did see throughout the episode. He even has a little hole that he can pop up in the middle of. Personally, I always preferred RC cars over train sets because you can control them. I understand for a slightly older generation, train sets were a much bigger thing. If I had one as a kid, I could totally see myself enjoying it. You get to set up a little town. You get to change the tracks. But you can't ever officially control it. And Tim and Hank go to the train tracks that are near their house. And Tim's wearing his dad's conductor's hat, something he enjoys wearing. I don't think they say how their dad died, but it does seem like it was somehow related to a train, like maybe his train derailed. Usually with this series, they don't go into too much detail about death. Tim then meets a man by the name of Ray Lawson, who's the conductor of the 713 train, which passes by every night. At least that's what he tells him. These train tracks have actually been abandoned for years, so we're going to be dealing with a ghost train here. And what this episode is lacking is a really good villain. There's not a Zebo, or the next episode we're going to cover Dead Man's Float, a character like that. The main villain is just a conductor. We also get a scene where Tim gets taken into this ghost train. It looks a lot like the last car that I reviewed in Tales from the Dark Side, but this is a very short scene, and it's one of the best parts of the episode. He goes into this ghost train and sees other people that have died, but then he just quickly gets taken out of it. So it seems like they just don't know what they're doing with this episode. It's a bit too convoluted. He's meeting this conductor, this ghost train's coming and has these people kidnapped, but he spends most of the episode putzing around the house, and we don't even get to see that much of the train set. Needed a bit more direction and an actual real villain. Also, some stakes. At this point, Tim is really not in any danger. If they had kidnapped him into this train and he had to escape, that would be something that would be more exciting. But at this point, he really doesn't have to do anything. He escapes very easily from this train. You think he's going to be trapped in this ghost train, but he simply gets out of it. He doesn't have a ticket. So they let him go. They try to raise the stakes a bit at the end, where he once again is taken to this ghost train for a second, and this time Ray Lawson is making Tim the conductor so he doesn't need a ticket, making it seem like he's going to be trapped here forever. But his brother is able to change the tracks, and Tim is able to escape. Not that he was ever there for very long to begin with. If you can't tell, I don't think this is a great episode. I will read a quote from DJ McHale, who directed this episode. It was written by Gerald Wexler. who previously wrote The Tale of Long Ago Locket. And he's quoted as saying, when he first saw the script, he loved it so much that he knew he had to direct it. He saved it for the end of the season. While he assumed he would be too tired to direct it, at that point he was still able to do it because he was so excited about it. And I think we see the real reason he loved this episode. He said it was the most fun to film as he got to play with model trains and full-size trains. I can see him having fun with playing with the model trains, but the script is not the best. And it says at the top that D.G. McHale says it's one of his favorites, but he doesn't feel like it gets enough attention. This gets mentioned in no top 10s. D.G. McHale, the creator of the series, has said before that a lot of the episodes he likes aren't the horror-themed episodes. He'll never say which ones he dislikes, but he does want people to focus on the ones that aren't very scary, and this episode is absolutely not scary whatsoever. It also just doesn't have any stakes, any good villains, and if they're going to focus on the model trains, show more of that. Show him building a train set. Have it take place in a train shop. Instead, it's too convoluted and is going to get a 4 out of 10. I think it's below average, but you do get to see some trains in a few different locations. Main character Tim Williamson was played by Gregory Smith, who was Ibram in the show Everwood, and Thomas Martin in the Mel Gibson movie The Patriot. And his older brother Hank Williamson was played by Jesse Moss, who was in the very underrated horror comedy Tucker and Dale vs. Evil as Chad, and in Final Destination 3. Next up, we cover the first episode of Season 5, The Tale of Dead Men's Float. One of the best episodes of Are You Afraid of the Dark. It makes up for this one by having an actually good villain, very scary villain. Haunts people in the pool. And check out our playlist for the other series that we've covered. Twilight Zone, Tales from the Dark Side, Monsters, Fear Itself, Mystery Science Theater 3000. They're all in order. Thank you.